Movie openings, the make-or-break moment of the entire film. They decide whether the viewer will stay hooked to the screen for the next 2 hours or have a great nap. So, there is a lot of pressure around crafting compelling intros. Now, add introducing a great villain to it as well, and we have the perfect concoction of a disaster. But not for all. Very few films pull it off so boldly that it becomes a cinematic masterpiece. I mean, have you seen what Inglourious Basterds does with Colonel Hans Landa? His entrance is calm, polite, and terrifying at the same time. It's an absolute masterclass in building tension. Except we have already had this class before. Where? Well, keep watching to find out how the greatest film opening is actually a remake. Let's rewind a little. Remember, over 40 years ago, a film came out and immediately made it to Quentin Tarantino's favorites. It's The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. And if you haven't watched it, you definitely should, because it's an all-time classic. It's actually about 3 men chasing treasure during the American Civil War. And obviously, they don't get along. It features Blondie, the good.
I'll keep the money and you can have the role.
Angel Eyes, the bad.
How's your digestion now?
And Tuco, the ugly.
Carson, yeah, glad to meet you, Carson. I'm Lincoln's grandfather.
No, we are not making assumptions based on looks. We understand exactly who they are from the moment they're introduced, thanks to their unique entrances. Tuco crashes through a window in the middle of a gunfight.
There are 2 kinds of Spurs, my friend. Those that come in by the door, those that come in by the window.
And not just any fight, it's the fight where he kills 3 men while enjoying a nice meal. His scene is loud, messy, and wild, just like him. Blondie shows up calm and smooth, you know, like the men who are portrayed as the epitome of honesty and kindness. But soon we learn he knows how to play dirty, too. His music is soft and clean, hinting at his tricky nature. Then there is Angel Eyes. He doesn't speak much. Not because he doesn't want to, but because he doesn't need to. His eyes do the talking, and the mood is set by the silence, the shadows, and the darkness. Now think back to Landa. His first scene and Angel Eyes' intro are more alike than they seem. Here are some facts. Both happen in quiet farmhouses. We see families going about their normal lives when a stranger shows up. And unlike Tuco, their entrances are not loud or chaotic. They don't storm in. Instead, they slowly take control. The camera work here is remarkable. Through the wide angles and long shots, they establish the geographical location of the farmhouses, hinting at the fact that the families are probably the only ones living in the isolated land. The camera shows who's in charge by clever framing. Additional work is done by the sound effects. Whether it's a sharp music cue or a chilling silence, it sets the mood even before a word is spoken. It makes us all anticipate what they're gonna do next, and this is where the filmmakers score a point. They don't reveal much information about the characters. Their motive, their relationship with other characters, is kept hidden. All we know is that the vibe is off, and the guys are definitely not up for something good. They mean danger. Why? Because as soon as they enter their space, we know who holds the power. Landa and Angel Eyes control their scene in different ways. Tarantino gives Landa long, winding conversations that seem polite, but have a hidden threat underneath. He uses his clever words and fake friendliness to break down the farmer's defense. On the other hand, Leone keeps things almost entirely silent. Angel Eyes speaks very little, and in the silence, every tiny sound adds pressure. The floor creaking, a chair scraping, the silence between lines. It all creates tension that can be felt even through the screen. He doesn't need fancy words or threats. Just being in the room is enough to scare everyone. Here, what both directors do extremely well is stretch the feeling of dread. They don't rush anything. Landa's introduction lasts over 14 minutes before he reveals what he really came for. And since Angel Eyes doesn't talk much, and the audience cannot spend 14 minutes staring into his eyes, he shows his true intentions in less than 5. 5 minutes is also a fairly long intro, but the interesting thing is that neither of the scenes feels too elongated or slow. That is because both directors have mastered the ultimate guide to classic movies. They know that suspense is strongest when we're waiting for something to happen. They take their time to build fear by working on small details like little pauses, the stillness, and the quiet moments. Tarantino clearly learns from Leone's pacing, but he also adds his own touch. He uses zoom-ins and close-ups that pull us right into the characters' faces. This makes us feel trapped in the moment. Leone also does something similar. He uses tight shots like a solo performance, and once the camera gets close, we know things are about to go down. The slow build-up leads to an explosion. A fast, violent explosion. And it ends just as quickly as it begins. You must have noticed how in action scenes we feel the adrenaline rush in our body, how we feel like we are in that fight or in that car race. That is because the directors consciously curate scenes that build up tension. Every scene is played in a way that somehow leads to that one final showdown. And when that happens, we go down with it. The sudden burst of actions only works because everything leading up to it is carefully built. In both of these movies, it was the same. The directors held us in suspense for just the right amount of time. So when the tension breaks, it hits hard. Both farmhouse scenes end with music coming back in. Not just as background, but as a final statement. It conveys a loud and direct message that the worst has arrived. Perfect conclusion of a perfectly executed scene. From the settings to the timing, to the way the sound is used, you have seen all the similarities, and you can't unsee them now. Leone's influence is all over Tarantino's work. Steal like an artist. We have all heard this phrase somewhere. But what does it really mean? It doesn't mean copying something word for word or shot for shot. It means understanding what makes a piece of art great, taking inspiration from it, and then transforming it into something new. You know, something that reflects your own thinking, something that feels like your own. That's exactly what Tarantino did with Leone's work. Tarantino doesn't just mimic Leone's scenes. He studies them, learns his ways. He looks at how Leone builds suspense, how he uses silence, and how he frames a shot. Then he reworks those ideas to fit his own voice. It is not imitation, it is reinvention. He mixes Leone's long pauses and repetitive close-ups with his own fast-talking, tension-filled dialogue. He knows the modern audience doesn't appreciate slow-paced things. So, he adds sharp twists. Where Leone used silence to build fear, Tarantino adds layers of language. And by words, he simply turns simple conversations into psychological chess matches. The foundation might be borrowed, but the structure is completely his. Leone completely changed the narrative of filmmakers about suspense. Before he stepped into the industry, many directors rushed straight to action with quick cuts and loud moments. They believed fast pacing is equal to an action-filled scene. But Leone's film showed how timely placed visuals, how slow-paced scenes can also hold equal importance as the chaotic, fast-paced action scenes. Other than that, Leone's work also shows how he trusted his audience. He knew they didn't need to be spoon-fed excitement. He let them sit in discomfort, piece things together, and feel the weight of each decision and movement. He wanted them to be a part of the whole process. Plus, he knew exactly how long he could stretch the scenes before dropping the bombs. And the good thing is, you can feel Leone's fingerprints not just in Tarantino's work, but in Denis Villeneuve's Sicario, the Coen Brothers' No Country for Old Men, and even modern horror like Hereditary. These films let scenes sit in silence and trust the audience to feel the tension without being told. Hence, Leone planted the seed and Tarantino helped it grow. All in all, both are exceptional in what they do or used to do. We are grateful for all the amazing films Leone and Tarantino have given us, and we'll forever continue to cherish and respect their work. What are your thoughts on remakes and drawing inspiration from others' work? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel, and we will catch you in the next one.